I got a job as night security on a train. The train rules are deeply disturbing. My last job was a bit dangerous and disturbing, but I got a rather hefty payment for just the first shift and then a promotion to work as security on a night train. My last job was working as a night guard for my local subway station. If you want to know about my previous job, read my last series. Although it is not necessary to read my last series, it will definitely help you understand my situation better. This morning I got a text from my employer, I only know them as the subway management team, asking me to come to my local station for my first shift on the train. I made my way to the subway station on time at 9 PM. The train I would be riding on for the next 8 hours arrived at the station. It was a very modern train with automatic open doors and was 6 compartments long. My security compartment would be the second one from front, as I was told in my text. As I got on the train, I noticed that each compartment except for the special compartments had a main lobby type area with 4 seats on either sides facing the windows and a travel door that linked it to the next compartment on the left side from the entrance door. On the right were either a few steps leading up to an upper seating area that was similar to the interior of the bus and a few steps leading down to an exactly identical seating area. If you need help visualizing the train compartments, search up *Sydney trains and you'll get what I mean. The security compartment was very different to the main ones. It had a camera feed and a desk with drawers. It also had a chair I could sit on. The security compartment required a key to open. The driver compartment could be accessed from the security compartment via a door. As I was about to get on the train, a guy exited the last security compartment and handed me a security badge and the keys to the compartment. He patted me on the back and wished me good luck. I cringed as soon as he said good luck, as my mind filled up with the events of my last job. When I got into my security compartment, I found the usual employee manual, but also once again a sheet of rules. It read, all passengers must be escorted off the train on station 6. The train will stop for 5 minutes on station 6. Check all 4 carriages and make sure every passenger has left the train. After the train has left station 6, go back to the security compartment which is at the front and will have a door labeled security compartment. You must do this as soon as the doors of the train starts closing. Run if you have to. If you hear people talking, stay put inside your security compartment and check the camera feed. If you see people sitting in compartment 4, immediately disable the automatic doors that connect compartment 4 to 3. You must do this as soon as possible before they notice. If they even glance at the camera, they have noticed. If the people you see in your camera feed start approaching compartment 3, get the knife from the drawer and go stab all of them before they reach compartment 3. You are to make rounds of the full train every 15 minutes from the point you see the people in compartment 4 to the point the train comes back to the station you got on at and has done a full loop. If during your rounds you see anyone get on the train, hide. Don't hide in your security compartment. Hide somewhere they won't find you. They will give up at the next stop and leave the train. If during your rounds you hear hysterical laughing, turn off all the lights to that compartment, but don't disable the travel doors to the compartment. An extension to Rule 7, if you see the thing making the laughing sound, get out of that compartment and disable the doors to it. The creature may trick you by disappearing as soon as you see it, but make sure you disable the doors. You may find a young girl in a red dress in one of the compartments looking lost. Ignore her and do not look in her direction. She may plead for help or do anything to get your attention, but do not look her way or interact with her in any way. At stops 9 and 13, get off and on the train. At stop 13 you may see a man sitting in a security booth. Do not get off the train or he will shoot you. You may see someone else you didn't see before on the train get off and get shot by the security guard. Do not interfere. The train may break down at any point during the journey and all electrical power will go out. Keep calm and stay in your position. You may feel things moving around you in the dark or even hear things. Ignore everything. The train will start up again and will eventually move on. Continue normally. Check the camera feed every 30 minutes after reaching stop 13. You may see various creatures or people sitting in the seats. You may see violence. Make sure you do not interfere in any way. At the same time, you may have to do a round of the train. Keep doing your round and still go through that compartment. The creatures can only be seen on the camera feed. If you notice that you are stopping at the same stop over and over again, go to compartment 4 and sit on the very back seat. Wait until the stops continue and then you can leave the seat. On one of your rounds you may find the train seats bloody. Use the cleaning cloth in the drawer and clean the seats. The lights on the train may go out at any time during your rounds. Use the flashlight we have provided and continue your round. If you see anything in the dark, run back to your security compartment and disable the doors to that compartment. You can enable the doors once the lights come back. If the train gets too quiet and you literally don't hear anything, run to your security compartment and put loud music on your phone to fill up the silence. Continue your shift and rounds once you hear the steady sound of the train engine. If the train stops for longer than 5 minutes at any stop, check on the driver. If he is not there, manually close the doors of the train and keep the train going until it loops back to your stop and get off there. You will also have to continue your security duties. If you walk into compartment 5 by accident, immediately get out before the automatic doors close behind you. If the doors close behind you and you are stuck in compartment 5, jump off the train. The reason this rule is so important is because there is no compartment 5. If you break any of the above underlined rules, we are not responsible for your general health and safety. We will nonetheless come to collect you at your entry station. The train has just started moving again. My current station is station 1. I'm going to read the rules and try to memorize them and also get myself familiar with the train before the rules are on me once again. I went around the train and it was sparsely populated. It wasn't exactly packed, but it wasn't empty either. Everyone was tired from their work and they were returning home. I was just starting my shift. I went back to the security cabin and the door clicked shut behind me. Auto locking door, that should be useful, I mocked as I sat down rereading the rules. The train ride was just dark tunnels. After a long and uneventful ride, the train finally reached station 6. I got out of my security cabin and ushered everyone off the train. I then did a round of all 4 cabins and had to wake up a few sleeping passengers and get them off. The train doors then started to close and it was just me and whatever else was on this train. I quickly set up my watch to alert me every 15 minutes to do my rounds. So far so good. Rule 1 tick. Just then I realized that I messed up rule 2. Chills went up my spine and my heart rate quickened up. I was at the end of compartment 1, so all I had to do was go through the seating areas and then straight through to the security compartment. I suddenly started running as soon as the plan formed in my head. I had broken the rule, but that doesn't mean I just stand there and wait for something to get me. Suddenly I slammed into a wall. I was momentarily dazed as I really wasn't expecting a wall to be here. No, hold up, it wasn't a wall. I had just crashed into a horrifying creature. It was of a deep black color. No, not black. It was the color of nothingness. The total absence of light point, it had bright red eye-like protrusions all over its body. In place of a face, it had tentacles bulging out of a deep hole in the place of a mouth. Since it was hunched over, I felt its wet slimy tentacles in my hair. This was the same creature from the subway station. This time I wasn't in the safety of my booth though, and nothing is going to stop it from getting me. I was frozen in fear for a while until the creature let out a deep guttural growl. It kicked me out of my state and I started running for my life. It reached out its claws and scratched me painfully on my chest. It made the sound of chalk on a chalkboard as the rough tips of its claws ripped through my shirt and shredded my skin. Warm blood leaked out of my chest. I continued running and clutched my chest that was now searing with sharp, ugly pain. I got into the security compartment just in time. The creature made a massive bang against the door. I quickly reached into the cabinet next to my desk and found a first aid kit. The creature continued repeatedly banging itself into the door. At some point it went away. After ripping open my shirt, I applied the unmarked lotion I found onto my skin and wrapped bandages around my torso. The cuts weren't too deep, but they had mangled the upper layer of my skin and covered a great area. It stung like hell. I picked up my water bottle with shaking hands and took massive gulps. I had already broken the second rule on the list. Suddenly, I heard loud and joyous talking outside my security compartment. I knew there was a rule relating to that, so I pulled out the rule sheet from my pocket and scanned it. Yes, I have to disable the doors to compartment 4. I quickly looked at the camera feed and saw a group of people sitting at the back of compartment 4 in the upper story. I swear one of them glanced up at the camera as I disabled the doors. Their face sent chills down my spine, and it was not because of their expression. It was because he looked exactly like me. No, he was me. And then all 4 of them looked up. They were all copies of me. Their white creepy grins sent chills down my spine. They suddenly got up and walked towards the travel doors in unison. Luckily I had disabled the doors as soon as I heard the voices. And guess what? Just then my watch beeps to politely tell me that it was time to take a relaxing round of the train. I picked up the knife from the drawer and made sure I had disabled the doors to compartment 4. All the other compartments were empty, but when I reached the end of compartment 3 where the travel door was to compartment 4, I saw a sight that snapped my mind. It was a sight that keeps replaying in my mind until now. There they were, the 4 copies of me, pressed against the glass. They looked demented and drugged. Drool dripped down their faces and their eyes went wide at the sight of me. Then as if on cue, they all started fighting each other. They fought like wild dogs, biting each other, poking each other in the eye. Blood dripped on the floor like from a tap, but they continued. They mutilated each other. I could not continue watching. They punched and kicked each other until their faces were unrecognizable. I turned around and ran straight for the security compartment. I started crying hysterically inside and pulled at locks of my hair. Why the hell did I come back to this job? What are those things? What is this train? I screamed at the walls, but they remained silent in response. I started punching the walls and didn't stop until I noticed blood on my fists. Then I wrapped my hands in bandages. I swear I look like a zombie apocalypse video game character. I'm currently typing this up to calm down. So far I have only broken 1 rule. I'll have to go on another round soon. I'm going to keep updating if I'm alive. Pray for me. I want to get out of this hell.